Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic 2006, and once again I have with me ChaosArgate and NGDBSS, and we are in the buggy again. Oof.
You know, I don't think you can rail grind on that with the buggy.
Sadly you can't. Also, this looked very fatal to the driver.
I wonder if what we just learned now might have been helpful, but...
Whatever just happened was very fatal to the buggy, but it's fine. Now I can rail grind.
I was referring more to the hover thing.
Oh right, yeah. No, the buggy has a double tap dash, and you have to do that for the missions at least. That I did know, and the game actually tells you about it.
Okay.
Just in case you're wondering off screen, we did actually find out that the hover function of the hovercraft is actually in the manual. Wow, I was wrong. Anyway, let's not dwell on that. I do like the idea of reusing this half-pipe section with a vehicle, however it is much easier to just not fucking use it, because here the buggy is really bad.
This feels like it'd be fine for, like, I don't know, a bike or a skateboard.
Well,
not
the
a
skateboard
fucking
thing,
buggy.
You do have it as Sonic, of course.
Well,
So-
yeah, the fucking snowboard, streetboard, whatever the fuck he has.
He does have like a piece of debris he uses as a snowboard, I think.
How does Shadow, the hedgehog who's too cool for school and wears heelys, as a character trait, not have a skateboard?
It's weird, isn't it? I
You'd
mean, he's
think he
always
would, like,
inline skating,
make-
so...
Yeah, you'd think he'd, like, make one from Chaos Energy or something.
That would be probably too legitimately cool, because, you know, it's like the whole idea is that Shadow is not actually cool. At least that's my headcanon. Anyway, I hated this first part because I had to redo it so often to get the stupid fucking medal hovering in the air here, so the hard mode has already won me over because it doesn't have any silver medals that are hidden like...
Good.
From the normal modes is you have to jump into thin air and just like hover down with the spear in mid-air, just constantly adjusting the camera. It's just the dumbest thing ever.
Oh yeah, this place looks like a death trap if you're ever going off the rails.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's kind of fun figuring out various ways to go through those rails and so on. It's also very fragile and breaks extremely easily, so... YMMV, as one says. When I was playing this casually, here is dying all the fucking time. Especially as Sonic, when I was completely unused to the game. Shadow section is copy-pasted, so second time is always a little bit easier, of course. Yeah, hard mode, there is one more wave of enemies, I think, maybe, whatever. This part is boring.
Yeah, this extra wave of enemies doesn't really do anything but pad out the timer.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's just like Shadow is really good at killing a lot of enemies, so just adding more enemies, like, okay, I press the button 2 more times, okay, whatever. And there's this weird part where I never quite figured out how to actually do it. I always just do this kind of weird and glitchy jump up here, then fall down here and use that monster to move ahead, question mark. But where does this ring trail come from? How would it work? I don't know, whatever. Works somehow.
It is a mystery.
Yeah, always have to do this for style points. Also miss the 1-up because, you know, never homing attack too often here because you will homing attack to the grind rail, which is the railing here, and die. Also, this one here is still as lethal as it is in normal mode. If you remember, if you homing attack too quickly here, you will just die because he homes into whatever. It's really weird. This part
I
is
love that
terrible.
the spring just bounced you right next to the ring trail.
Yeah, and one outtake of the normal was also one of these springs here, just sending me straight into the stratosphere, and I died there. These rings, which you will never get ever as Sonic or Shadow. It's great.
Clearly
It's also
they
so
exist
weird
for silver.
You would figure they... no, you can't. No, this is Blaze's section instead of...
Oh, right.
And it's backwards for Blaze. So. You would figure that their headline level, the real cool, where they have the great soundtrack and all of that, all these set pieces, they would playtest it more. But I think they also redid it a bunch more, and then just have multiple versions collapsing, colliding. This is copy-pasted from Sonic, but you know, Shadow is a little bit different, and I think this is a lot of where the issues come from. This has never quite worked for me when I'm in Chaos mode. Fortunately, you do have a ground here, and what was I just saying about Spring sending you somewhere in the stratosphere? Fortunately, you have ground here.
Oh my.
I kind of love this game at this point, but you have to be honest with yourself. It is a piece of shit.
Yeah. Like, my heart goes out to the Sonic team developers who were on this project, because they had a lot of shit to deal with in the production, but
blame of everything here.
Yeah. Good God, like everything went so poorly for this game.
Anyway, now that I know that this also has a boost, apparently, if you double tap A, some of these sections make a little bit more sense, like going through those collapsing building parts that are going together, like the meteors in Star Fox 64. Nice reference. Use the boost to get through. Hilarious. Anyway, and it's over. And
hello.
Oh.
Yeah, I just hit the
glitch?
fix it button. Yeah, emulator glitch. I hit the fix it button as soon as I saw it happen, and it's not an issue. F4 for those playing along. Whenever something like this happens, is the collision of Shadow and an object intersects, and he just stops for a bit. So I wasn't there contemplating my life choices, even though I am. He was just stuck at the corner of the cage for a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Anyway, I just tried skipping around here a little bit, but didn't quite let me. Didn't see what I was going for. Anyway,
When
now
is the
the
game
spring
finally
is
going to open things up? Here we go.
Yeah. You just needed to kill the last enemy. I was just like trying to be a little bit cheeky with it. This part is fine generally. You can see how it is a little bit repurposed from Silver, where all of these collapsing bridges and so on don't make that much sense for Shadow's actions. Like, why do they collapse? With Silver you technically have to throw stuff at them, though there also they collapse on their own sometimes. Works better in hard mode for Silver though. Generally, the whole of Crisis City for Shadow is just, you can see that he was not entirely intended for this. This is first Sonic's level and also Silver's level, and then he just gets some parts of it shoved together, and it doesn't really work.
If they had more time, maybe they could have given him something unique, but yeah.
Yeah, he probably would have needed like an entirely different part of Crisis City for himself. Like you have an extra tropical jungle for Silver, and a different one for Sonic. This is something where I could think, okay, maybe, but of course, that's completely unfeasible given the time constraints.
Yeah, especially because you are constantly having to push reverse just to stay where you were. Your vehicle does not have hill hold. No. Oof.
Oof. Anyway, I skipped a lot here because I could just get up to the spring, but who's blaming me?
I feel like also in general, like, maybe this is the point where Sonic Team's idea of just like making one level and repurposing sections of it for all of their playable characters might have started to show its age a little bit.
Yeah, it's just not a very good idea to begin with. Like you
Take
could
it
see
they
it
did
in
that
Heroes.
in adventure games as well.
But they did it for Heroes, where it didn't work at all. Like those 4 teams are barely different, and everybody hated that. So I don't quite know why they did it here as well. And for adventure, sometimes, like some of these levels are obviously same tile sets, same assets, but for example, Sonic and Shadow's final levels outside the arc are very different in actual gameplay, just because they have hugely different gimmicks. So there you could see a lot more time and effort went into this.
I think the way Adventure 2 did it was best, where like you have whole sections that of levels that just play completely differently, but look very similar, if not like have, pretty similar assets, like Skyrail and Pumpkin Hill.
Yep.
Compared to like Sonic and Tails' Casinopolis and like Knuckles' Casinopolis as well, I guess. In Sonic Adventure 1.
Yeah, exactly. That is like the entirety of Tails' story is completely pointless except for the unique bosses, I guess. So that was a little bit of a doomed idea from the start.
Yeah, like on paper, I think it's
very awkward, by the way.
I can tell. On paper, I think it's a pretty decent idea for getting the most out of your assets. In practice, I don't think a game like a Sonic game really appreciates having the constraints that come with reusing one level across 6 different gameplay styles.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's plenty of other games that kind of struggle with that concept, like Devil May Cry 4, having you redo the entire game in reverse, as Dante is obviously made to save a lot of space, but at least it's reverse, and Dante is a completely different style, and they introduce a lot more enemies. So I never really minded that as much as people do, and even there, where it's pretty well done, people still hated it, so,
Yeah, it's a case where, yeah, you can save on assets, but you need to shunt a bunch of effort to the design team.
Exactly. It really needs to be well done, and there needs to be something that sets it apart from just rote repetition. Anyway, closing statement. Thanks a lot for your attention.